Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video we will discuss about the topic exception. So what is exception and what is the use of exception and why do we need that? We will all cover these topics in today's video. So an exception is an error that occurs during the execution of the program. It means we write any sentence that created an exception in that program. If there is no exception, if we can't handle exception, then our program will be crashed. So to avoid that crashing of our program, we use exception. So the question is how to implement the exception. So here is some examples. What is malicious code? First of all, malicious code can be handled by help of the try block. If exception arises inside the try block is followed. For example, this is the try block, and the body of the try block is called as malicious code. Exception 1, 2, 3, and this is else part. So if try block is having some exception, then it will goes to the exception 1 or 2 or else part. So coming to this program, try div equals to 5 divide 0. This creates an exception because the denominator cannot be existing, the 0 cannot be existing denominator. So except this is the arithmetic error, so this will execute. So this exception will execute. Now try this. This will be the arithmetic error exception, and this will be the final code. Basically, if any exception arises in this try block, then it will goes to finally block. Basically, if the exception is arises in the code anywhere, then it will go to the final block. So finally block will always be executed for every condition. So now coming to the implementation part, Python program to handle simple runtime error. Okay, so there is an array 1, 2, 3. We are having 3 elements, and the topmost index is 2, 0, which means 0, 1, 2. Try. The try block is printing the element 1, so that is 2. That is okay. Now this statement is printing the element at third index, and we are not having the element at the third index because we are having the 3 elements only. It means we are having the element at most 2 index. So there is fourth element does not exist in our array. So it will create an index error. So it will create an exception called index error, and it will print an error occurred. So let me run this program. So second element equals to 2. This output is of this statement, and this line shows error, then it will goes to the index error and it will print an error occurred. So I hope you understand this question. We will do one more question. Just wait, this one. It is a simple program to handle multiple errors in one program only. So there is multiple error. Let me check. Try a equals to 3. Okay. If a is more than, then will not run. B equals to a divide a minus 3, and a is value 3. 3 minus 3 becomes 0 here. So it will throw an exception. Exception 0 division error. Okay. This is first exception. Print value of b. If there is no value of b, if b is throwing exception, how we can print the name or value of b? So it will cause name error. So there is two exception. One is 0 division error and other is name error, and it will only going to print this line. Let me run this program. So it is printing only the last line because b is throwing exception and we can't print the value of b. So these two exceptions are in the same program. So in this program we are handling the multiple errors. So let me do one question for you. Another question is user defined exception, because the previous two exceptions are belong to the Python, and this is user defined exception. It means user are defining it for the exception. So there is class called myError and handling the exception. There is a constructor and the string which is returning self.value, this value basically, and try block raise my error, it giving my error as 6, this value 6, it is passing the value 6, the try block is passing the value as 6. Accept my error as error, a new exception occurred and error dot value, it will show the value of the error. Let me run this program. So an exception occurred at 6, the error dot value which is passed by this try block. As my error class, the exception of the my error class is handled by this error. So this is called user defined error or user defined exception. So I hope you understand all the topics covered in this video, as a try and exception are really important for this programming. So if you like my video, then do share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.